Hi everyone, some personal news. Last week I shared a post here on Instagram that contained an emoji that has awful connotations.
Well, I never. Gary Lineker posted something to his Instagram which contained an emoji with terrible connotations, but it's very strange to me, you know. Gary Lineker, who must he have upset? You know, which collective, I wonder? Because he's always so careful to appear to be on the right side of history, is our Gary. Yes, Gary really is somewhat of a bird of paradise, a peacock of virtue. So I can't imagine what group of people must have brought him to his knees so, you know, to post this grovelling apology on Instagram. Oh dear.
Unfortunately, I did not see the emoji. If I had, I would never ever have shared it.
You daft racist.
I'm afraid that just won't do, will it, Mr. Lineker? The cat's out the bag now. Fetch your yarmulke, Gary. Or should I say Ishmael, because you're about to go a-whaling.
Who's Daniel Boland? Oh, Daniel Boland, this is a heavy hitter. Do you guys know who this is?
The minute I was made aware, I quickly deleted the post and went on to make an apology.
That is so gay.
Okay, so I've got a few things I think about this whole fiasco, one of which is the view espoused by Sir Jeremy Paxman there.
I would like once again to say I'm sorry unreservedly.
Gay.
But first of all, I've just got to say this. Nobody should be jumping up and down with delight at Gary Lineker saying something that they agree with.
It was a genuine mistake and oversight.
Gay.
Okay, it's Gary Lineker. And by the same token, nobody should be foaming at the mouth at him saying anything they disagree with.
But I should have been more diligent.
Though I understand some frustration because he's a BBC presenter. He's a taxpayer-funded guy who's supposed to be talking about football, right? So if he does say a load of things you disagree with on Twitter, it gets a bit annoying. It's like, I'm paying your wages. I get that.
I know that.
Okay? The point is, Gary Lineker apologising now for this post, which clearly, you know, he was, if you look at the post, it's just some woman explaining something about Zionism. It's a load of crap, and there just happened to be a little rat emoji, okay?
It was a genuine mistake.
He's apologising for this. Why? Because none of these posts that Gary Lineker does are about bravery, about rebellion, you know? This guy is, and always has been, I've been watching him my entire life, he is a ponce. He is a guy who has cultivated a public persona for decades, okay? And the only way he could get that out there for a long time was by presenting Match of the Day once a week. And, you know, the odd award ceremony or other gig that the BBC would give him. I imagine he probably presented a lot of private dinners and charity events and bullshit like that because his ego needs it, right? And he does have an ego. I've been watching him slipping in Japanese and Spanish phrases into his interviews, into his presenting for years to make himself feel intellectually superior to the other boneheads that are there presenting with him. You know, I see him doing it now on his podcast that he's got with the mumbling inebriate Alan Shearer and the giggling jackass Micah Richards.
What are you, my fucking wife, or what?
In your dreams.
Have you had a good night, have you?
Yes,
Have a Guinness as well, Micah. There you go, have a Guinness.
Yeah. It's quite painful, to be honest.
God knows it ain't difficult to seem intellectually superior to those cretinos. All right? The point is, Gary Lineker doesn't matter, okay? It's not important what he thinks.
I've stood up for minorities and humanitarian issues and against all forms of racism all of my life, including, of course, anti-Semitism, which I absolutely abhor.
Which I hate.
There's no place for it and never should be.
I love it when people like this with no real personality speak, where they say redundant thing after redundant thing. It's all so inane and vacuous and empty, right? When he goes there, I've been standing up for minorities my entire life. Really? When you were 5? I've been standing anti-Semitism, which I abhor. There's no place for it. And that's not all. There never should be. Well...
So I think it's best for all concerned that I step down from BBC presenting duties altogether and not do next season's FA Cup or World Cup.
Oh well, never mind. Now, BBC, if you want my advice, I know we're not on speaking terms since you stole a piece of my intellectual property, one of your Radio 4 programmes, but be that as it may, I'll give you this free piece of advice. If Gary Lineker goes, you should assemble the dream team. Des Lynam, Big Ron Atkinson, Mark Lawrenson, Alan Hansen. I reckon they've got one last World Cup in them, one last dance, and it would be quite a coup, quite the tour de force for the BBC to reunite those titans, those goats of football punditry, you know? And if you wanted a bit of diversity, you could hire Marcel Desailly. Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? Scrap the diversity, you know? In fact, that would be the best part about it, wouldn't it? These old white guys doddering around, confused, uncomfortable, confusing all the black players' names. That's what I want to see.
The final day of the Premier League season on Sunday will be my last show. It's been a pleasure and a huge privilege working with the BBC for 30 years, especially hosting Match of the Day, a programme that is so close to my heart and an integral part of my life. I'd like to thank all of the quite brilliant, talented and lovely people, both in front and behind the camera, that I've worked alongside for 3 decades. You're an absolute best. The relationship with the BBC has been long and wonderful, but it's the right time for the organisation and myself to go our separate ways. Thank you also to all of you for your incredible support and love over so many years. It means the world to me. I'll see you all on Sunday.
Gay.
Well, I for one can't wait to see what the BBC come up with to deal with this situation.
Something gay, no doubt.
I would love to be on the board of people that decide who gets to replace Gary Lineker. I'd be the maverick, you know. I'd be thinking outside of the box. Bear with me, guys. I'm going to say one name. Joey Barton.
Journalistic standards.
It's a long shot, I know, but what's the worst that could happen?
I just went dead calm. I said, I'm going to smash your head in when the game finishes. He's gone, I've gone, uh-oh. I'm telling you now, I'm going to kill you when the game finishes.
Anyway, back to Gary Lineker. Now, as he said earlier in the video, he claims to have spent a lifetime defending minorities. Oh, God, have you not got anything better to do? But I've got to say, I'm always quite skeptical when I hear things like that. That really alerts my gaydar. Beep, 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 beep. Right? When somebody says something that ridiculous. I actually, this is a story I covered a couple of years ago on the channel. But I think, unfortunately, and it really is unfortunate that I have to cover this again, but I'm forced to remind you all that Gary has a bit of a history when it comes to attacking, not defending. No football pun intended. Minorities.
We were going to go to a club up in Piccadilly, not far, and we were trying to get a taxi and we couldn't. It was one of those nights, it was raining, I think. We couldn't get a taxi anyway. And this bus came along. Gaz said, let's get the bus. And I thought, it's going to be a bit... And it was full, this bus. And we thought, oh, right. So anyway, on the way, Gazza went in for, hey mate, you know.
Uh-oh, I don't like where this story's going. A load of drunken footballers on a night out, getting on a public bus, and Paul Gascoigne was there. That's never good. I like the imitation, though. Oi, why, man? That's what Geordies are like, aren't they, Gary?
Went in for, hey mate, you know. And on he went, and about 4 of the players followed. And I came in last, and I said, I don't suppose any of them paid. And
what a great guy you are, Gary. You were even a good guy back then, weren't you? All your horrible England teammates got on the bus and you went, oh, I don't suppose any of them paid. Go on.
little Indian driver. And
excuse me?
Little Indian driver. And I said, how much is it? Oh, no. He said, no. He says, Gascoigne, Lineker on my bus, no charge. Gascoigne, Lineker on my bus, no charge. Where are you going? And do forgive me for the accent, but he did talk something like that.
You know, the way Gary is describing this as some kind of happy anecdote, when in reality it's a bunch of entitled millionaire footballers who were so hammered that the taxis wouldn't let them get in, so they decided to storm a public bus without paying. And then Gary's helping Paul Gascoigne onto the bus. I assume his legs at that point were in no shape to carry his own weight. We can all imagine. And in the process, they terrified, as he put it, the little Indian driver. That poor Hindustani Bengalian platforms was frightened half to death as he was just trying to do his job.
Aye, man, we'll get on the bus. We'll carry the bus.
Oh, go on, mate. Don't be a dick. I'll pay. Dance for us.
No, please, sir. I don't want any troubles.
And he said, I said, we're going up there, Piccadilly. I don't know whether is that. He said, this is only 2 blocks off my route. I will drop you at the door. Anyway, so off he goes. And then Gazza gets to the front of the bus, and the big glass windows at the front of the bus.
Yes, I do.
He's standing there facing the bus, and he's singing, "We're all going on a summer's holiday," and the whole bus joined in, and just mad, but it was very funny.
Anyway, as always on the Daniel Boland Show, a little bit of nuance and balance is always called for. I mean, who are we to judge? We don't know about Gary's lived experience, do we?
Being good at sport, life would have been very different for me because I was, I was kind of not. I think I would have been bullied at school. They were kind of marginally that way anyway because I was like, this tiny geeky kid with darkish skin, and it was pretty much racist abuse. Although I'm not, I'm as English as they come. Really? Yeah.
Gary Lineker is many things, but he's not black door.
I'm beginning to like this Patrick Christie's fellow. He's got a couple of memeable quotes in recent videos of mine.
Give me anything I can need there.
Yeah.
Give me.
Just give it.
Yeah.
Why?
Anyway, Patrick Christie's aside, Gary Lineker, who would have thunk it? He's black. I guess that's all we have to say about this today, isn't it? Surely. There can be no more to be said. Anyway, if you've enjoyed today's video, give the video a like. If you've tell me what you think in the comments. That helps with the algorithm, helps the algorithm understand whether you've had a lovely time or not. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and what else? Yes, follow me on X and Instagram, and check out my Patreon if you want to help out with the channel even further. That's very much appreciated. Get some access to some exclusive videos that I make. And check out the video I made the day before yesterday, because YouTube are blocking it because it's got age restricted and limited ads, and I thought it was a lovely video, frankly. Nothing else. I'll see you in the next one.
Oh, spectacular. That's what I call warmth. Traditional warmth, yeah. That's better than these out glass and stainless steel and everything painted and stark.